and here is my sweet cream or sweet corn casserole. 14 little circles out of this. Oh my gosh, that's 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And here we are. I didn't think it was gonna pop up that easily. I gotta get to chopping those onions. And you know what I forgot on my plate? A piece of sausage. Putting this on top. And oh my gosh, these are delicious. Isn't that cute? And there, that's the finished one. I wish I had videotaped in there. Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today I'll be doing a Christmas apothecary jar. Most of the items that I'll be using will be from the Dollar Tree, and I'll be using some little leftover bits from here and there. So let's get started to what these supplies are. Let me show you what I got. I've got some glassware items from the Dollar Tree, starting with this pillar candle holder. It's a short little glass candle holder. I'm going to be using that. I'm going to be using this 7-inch, it's about 7 and almost and a half inch cylinder vase. I'm going to be using this jar, but I'm not going to be using the whole jar. I'm just going to be using the lid part of this jar. And I got this little glass plate from their kitchenware items, pretty much where I got this jar also. So that's where I got those items from. I'm going to be using some ribbon here that I've got from the Dollar Tree. It's a 5/8" wide ribbon. As you can see, it's nice and red and glimmery. I also got this, it's called diamond wrap. This one I got it from their Christmas section. This is called diamond wrap, and I got this from their floral decor section. A little small area that they have there. I had some leftover ribbon from another project, and I got this from the Dollar Tree. So really any scraps of ribbon that you might have that you might want to use, and I'm going to use this because I used it in another video, and I'm just going to use my leftovers. Okay, also from the Dollar Tree, from their floral garden section, I've got this diamond wrap, and this one is in a like a silvery, and I got a cute little ornament. This is the highlight of my whole thing. And I looked for this thing at several Dollar Trees because I had seen it. Then I went to my Dollar Tree and I didn't see it there, so I had to go back to the one where I originally saw it. It is a pretty little chapel. Look at that. This is from their Christmas collection. Okay, so that's my main little component in there. I have this box of 10 ornament snowflakes. And I've got quite a few of them still. I've used it for another project, so I may use 1 or 2. I also had these smaller ones. I also got them from the same Christmas section, little snowflakes. The white ones are kind of sparkly. They have some glitter on them. I don't know if I'm going to use these, but I grabbed them because I am going to use a couple of these for another project. And since I know I'm going to have leftovers, I thought, well, maybe I'll use it for this as well. I'm going to use these mini garland ties. It's a packet of 12. This is from the Dollar Tree, of course. And the only thing that I didn't get from the Dollar Tree was this little ribbon. Okay, so then here's this chenille stem looking wire tie. I'm going to use that. Some leftovers from a bush from Dollar Tree. I got 2 pine cones and a little berry. It's like a little pieces that I cut out from a bush, and I had these leftovers, so I'm going to try and use that. And then I'm going to use my snowflakes that I got from Hobby Lobby, and my little bag is getting lower and lower each time because I use this for pretty much all of these crafts that I've been doing for this Christmas season of 2017. Okay, so let's get to crafting. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that all our glassware is clean, remove all the labels. I've introduced this product before called Glue Gun, and that's what I used to remove some of the stickers. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and wipe it, make sure there's no residue of that Glue Gun on my plate, candle holders, and the bottom of my cylinder jar. So just wipe everything from the inside, especially the cylinder jar, okay? Just wipe it out and make sure there's no dust and such. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, so now we've got these 4 glass items. Now, as if you remember at the beginning, I had this jar. I removed the lid off of it. Now I want to remove this plastic. Now this plastic is not an easy thing to remove, so I'm going to use these little pliers to help me to try and remove it. And what I'm going to try and do is just tear into it, and I'll probably end up using part of my scissors, my wire cutter. So just use whatever you can to tear this up, because we're not going to need this little plastic bit anymore, so it doesn't matter if it gets cut up and such. Just try to get it off, and it's not going to be that easy. At least it's not for me. So this is what I'm doing. Just having to tear it off. So what worked was actually using some scissors. Okay, so there we go. That's off. And we want to build an apothecary jar. So what we want to do is we want to take this plate. We're going to glue it onto this candlestick, and then we're going to take the lid of our little jar and put this on the top of this cylinder vase. So let's go ahead and build those. Oops, we'll go ahead and build those items. And I've got some E6000 glue for that. I didn't tell you what my supplies are going to be. I'm going to be using scissors as usual. I'm going to be using wire cutters, my little pliers, glue gun, glue sticks, and some floral wire. So those are the things that I'm going to need to put all this together. So I've got my glue gun already hot here. Let's move that over. Got my glue gun here ready. And I'm going to be using the glue gun on my glass for the purpose of getting a quick bond just for this video. Otherwise, I would only be using the E6000 and letting that dry overnight. Now, normally you put the E6000 and you leave it for a little bit before applying it, so it gets a little tacky. But we're just going to go ahead and get it on there. So just get some dots of the E6000 onto the edge of the top of the candlestick. We're going to be looking down so we can kind of center it. I usually like to put my finger more or less where I think. You can use a little Sharpie to mark on the other side, and then you can just wipe that off. But there we go. And of course, I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue to get a quick bond. So I'm just going to lift that up and get that glue on there. Okay, so that's another thing that we want our glue gun for, is because when this all dries, all these little webs from the hot glue, they'll just wipe right off. So we're going to leave this like that and let it dry. And of course, you're going to let it dry overnight. So now we're going to take this and put E6000 on the edge and then some hot glue. Little dots. And then my glue gun to get a quick bond. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find our little center, kind of aim for it, and then just look at it from the sides. Everything looks pretty even. Now on this one, I'm not going to worry about too much glue seeping out, because I'm going to decorate right here. So that's going to get all covered. So that's what we want. Now, if you find a jar with a smaller lid or smaller knob looking item that you can put on here, awesome. But this is the only one that I could find. They did have a smaller little jar with little metal lid to it, but I didn't really like the look of it. I kind of like the look of this better, all glass, and then I can just cover that up right there. Okay, so just make sure you get yourself a smaller little jar. I'm going to cover up my E6000 because it's dripping all over the place and it smells. Thankfully, it's not quite that strong, and I've compared it to the fix-all adhesive that you get from the Dollar Tree, and which works just fine. The only problem for me is that the scent of that is a little too strong, and I can take this one a little bit better. Okay, so we're going to let these items dry overnight, and then we're going to come back and decorate them and make a beautiful apothecary jar. Alright, so we're back and through the magic of videos and editing and so forth. It's not overnight for me, but it will be for you. So here we are. I've got my jars, and I've used hot glue to give me a temporary quick bond here. So here we go. I'm just going to test it. Yes. And yes. Okay. So now we want to decorate this. What do we want to do? We want to put this on top of here and make that look really pretty. That's what we're going to, that's our achievement, our apothecary jar. But let's go ahead and decorate it. I've got this diamond wrap, and I want to put this on the edge, on the very edge of the lip of this glass plate. We're going to put this all the way around the edge. I think it's going to look really pretty once it's on there. So let's go ahead and get started. I am going to be using my E6000 glue again, and I'm just going to put little dots. And with the help of the hot glue gun, we'll get a quick bond. Now you could just use your glue gun, but just wanted to let you know that because we're using glass, it's a non-porous material, so the glue will not adhere permanently. The hot glue will not adhere permanently to this glass. It'll just rip right off. And if you want to do something temporary, then that's fine, because you can just rip everything off and decorate it in a different way. But I'm going to go ahead and get my E6000 going here. Well, it was dripping out just fine. Now it wants to not drip out. Just some little dots here and there. Okay, and then we'll use our glue gun. And we just want to do little areas at a time, because the glue gun does dry fast. And you can use less glue than what I'm using. I put quite a bit on there. Not quite thinking. Okay. So that's what it's looking like so far. Okay. I'm going to continue wrapping this up with this diamond wrap, and I will be back. Alright, I'm coming to the end here where I'm gluing the last little section down. And I'm just going to snip it right where it sort of overlaps just a tiny bit. I'd rather that it overlap than be too short. So I'm letting it do that, because it was going to be a little shy and I didn't want that little tiny little gap. So just use your judgment. There we go. I've got this on the edge. Gives it a little bit of a bling look to it. It looks really pretty, I think. All right. There we go. It doesn't look like just a plain plate anymore, okay? And I want to do that to the top, I think. Let's see. I think so. I'm going to put this on the very top edge. So again, I'm going to use a little bit of the E6000 and just put some little glue, little dot here and there. Well, let me go ahead and put it all the way around, because this E6000 is not going to dry right away anyway. So I can go ahead and do that one. So I can go ahead and close it and put it out of the way. I'm using this napkin where I had some of that goo gone, so I can wipe it off my fingers. Okay, so before it starts dripping on me, let me get some of this hot glue on here. Make sure I have this facing the right way. That looks good. All the way. And almost done here. Okay, again, I'm going to trim it, and this one seems to end kind of almost perfectly, so it doesn't have to overlap. And then I'll just finish it off by sealing it with my glue gun. And there we go. We got that little edge. I want to decorate it some more, because we don't want it looking plain. So I've got these chenille stems here. These mini garland ties is what they're called. That's what they say on the label, and they're in the Christmas section of your Dollar Tree. I'm going to measure this, and I'm just going to leave it just a tiny bit bigger, and about, I'm going to say 1/2 inch, and just trim it off. And then the very ends, twist them in, curl them, about 1/4 inch, so that then we can hook them together. Hook it, and then just make sure they're hooked together by twisting a little bit, and then pinching them shut with our pliers. Okay, so the back of my, where's where my seam is? where I finished, just right here. So I'm just going to move that little knobby bit right there. There you go. Now I'm doing this as I go along, so forgive me if somewhere along the way I change some of the stuff that I'm going to use or not. Okay, here we go. Let's grab all these little bits, get them closer. I've got our little church. Now our little church is going to go on the plate, and this the cylinder will go over it. Now I've already measured it, and if it's nice and tight, the problem is that this little bit here kind of sticks out too much. So I'm just going to fold one bit down because it's just wire, a little wire bit. I don't want to take it off. You can take it off. I just lost one of these, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on it and stick it back in there. It's no big deal. See how I bent this upward? Okay, and then if there's some glue right there that I don't want. And then this little top part where it had the little string so that you could hang it on your tree, I'm going to snip that off. Okay, here we go. Just like that. Just snip it off. And then this should fit over it, and it's going to fit tightly like I said. There we go. Just like that. Now you could glue that little chapel in there down, or you could just leave it loose as it is. I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. So I'm just going to eyeball this. Now if for some reason this was a little too big, all I have to do is do some trimming, which I'm going to do. I'm going to get my wire cutters, and I'm just going to trim off the corners. See? I just cut that off. Just a little bit on it, on each corner. There we go. And get yourself some good cutters to do that. See, I've actually given that a nicer little shape there. Okay, we're going to use a little bit of E6000 on the bottom of that little chapel, and then some hot glue to get it on there quick. Okay, just a few dots. And then the hot glue gun. And we're going to try and aim this. Wait, where's the back? This is the back. As centered as we can. There we go. Close that up. That looks pretty. Looks so pretty. And the back. I can't even tell where the back is anymore. There we go. Now we can put this on there. Lovely. Okay, well, we're not going to leave it just like that. We're going to do some decorating. I'm going to get some more of these chenille stems and just kind of rough them up a little bit so they're not so, you know, it's not so flat on the wire. I'm going to measure. That's one. Grab one more. Rough it up and measure. What I want to do is I want to make a little wreath down here at the bottom. And I think 2 is fine. So I'm going to take 2 ends, twist them together, and then just kind of press them down. Okay, just get them together. I'm going to now go the other direction here. And then just round it off as much as you can to create a little wreath on here. And then right where they're going to overlap, just twist them together and then just trim off these excess ends off. And you can use your little pliers to twist them some more and get them nice and tight on there. So you're just going to round it off. And if that's too thin, it's not enough for you, add a couple more. But I think it's fine. I'm going to leave it like that because I don't want to cover that little church. Now I have these little snowflakes, and my idea was to put some of these little snowflakes in there, but I really don't think I have enough room in there. I think this fits nice and tight around there, so I'm not going to need these snowflakes. So like I said, some items I may use them and some items I may not. So just, you know, whatever you have, get that together so that when you're decorating yours, if there's little bits that you think you might use, maybe not, you'll know when you're doing it. So this is how I do. That's how I create the things that I think I might use. Okay, I'm going to trim this a little bit more here where these two overlap because I got too much of a bulk there. Okay. Now we can just slide that in, and that looks really pretty, just like that. Okay, but I'm going to glue it down. And this side over here is a little too flat, and it's not bushy enough. So I'm just going to rough it up a little bit. And this time I'm just going to use my hot glue gun to put a little bit of glue here and there so that it stays in place. Put this down in there. And then on the other side, just go underneath. Just so that it stays in place. Because it kind of wants to kind of pop up, okay? I think that's pretty, just like that. Okay, so now to this garland here and the one on the top, we can add some pine cones and some little berries. So that's what we're going to do. These little pine cones, these little berries. So I'm going to remove these leaves and take the little plastic bits off of it. And then I'm going to cut them so that I have little individual leaf pieces. Let's go ahead and do 2 of these. There we go. And we want the other pine cone as well, so I'm just going to remove these leaves off of it. I don't know if I'm going to use them. I'm going to completely cut them off the stem. I don't need them on the stem. Okay, so now we've got these little leaf components. We've got this other little stem. I'm going to just cut out that little part there. I don't need that. And then I've got these little berries, and I'm going to cut the little individual branches like so. Okay, that's what we're going to do with that. Then I have this thinner ribbon, and so I'm going to make a little bow that's going to go up on the top, and then I'm going to use this one to make a bigger bow to go on the bottom. Now, you can use one or the other, or just use the thin one to make a bow for the, maybe more loops for the bottom, and then for the top. But I'm going to use both just so you can see how it looks, and then you can make a decision. Okay, so I'm going to take about 3 inches, my little tail. Let's move you over a little bit. Twist, and always with a pretty side up. Okay, make a little loop, pinch it, twist it, so they always have the pretty side up. Make a little loop, and I'm going to do, I think, just three little loops on this one. Let me cut this little tails at a little angle. I've got a piece of wire here because the scrap that I had is actually a small little bow that I made when I was doing my bow making tutorial, and I decided to take it apart, and it had this wire, so I already had this small piece of wire. So basically I'm just recycling things, and you can do that as well. That's what I like about wire edge ribbon. You can reuse it. Okay. And this is good quality ribbon. This is from Hobby Lobby. They have really good quality ribbons, and they really keep their, the fabric on them really keeps their shape. So it's really nice. Okay. Here's my little bow. Just something really simple. I'm going to put that right up here at the very top. Just tuck it in there. Okay. Let's give it a little rest so it dries. Now we're going to make a bow with this one. And it was already a bow, but I'm going to make an even smaller one from what I had before. And let me tell you how much ribbon. I think it's a couple of yards, maybe not even. Oops. It's about 1.5 yards of ribbon. I probably won't use the whole thing. Is this end already cut? No. Okay, let's just do that. I'm going to give it a little shorty tail. I don't want it too long. Again, about 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches. This is about 4 inches. Just pinch it, twist it so you have the pretty side up, make a loop, and I'm just going to make a little loop. Okay, this is about 4 inches here, and I'm going to loop it, and it makes about a 2-inch loop. Twist it so the pretty side is up. Do another loop, bring them both up, compare them. They're the same size, pinch, and twist. And this one, I think I'm going to do 5 loops, because it's a small little bow. Pinch and twist. Pinch and twist. One more. Yes, I'm going to do 5. Okay. And I have all this ribbon. It's not a lot, it's just a little bit left over, but that's okay. We're going to cut that off. I'm going to trim off a piece of this wire, about 4 inches in length, and then just wrap that little bow with it. Twist my ribbon, my bow, and then I'm just going to cut this other tail also at an angle. Now you could take your straight edge tail and then fold it in half. From the center, cut up towards the edges. You cut like a little triangle so that you have this little, it's called a little dovetail. Okay, a little split open there. Okay, that's another option, but I just went at an angle. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is this little wire behind here, because it's a little long, trim it. Then I'm going to take my pliers and bend it down into a little curl. So I have that. And then there's some surface to put glue on so that I can glue it onto my garland here. And that's just going to get glued right on the garland. We're just going to let it set before we try to poof it up, okay? Just leave it alone. I'm going to take one of these pine cones and I'm going to put it on this side right here on my garland. And get another one. Let me put some leaves down. These little leaves that I cut individually. Kind of like they're tucked underneath the pine cone. I'm going to put one up here, tucked behind this little bow. Can you see that there? Okay, and also on the plate down here. Let me put a couple. A little bit further down, I'll put another one. And then I'm going to do another little one over here on this side of my, let's put it this way, on this side of my apothecary. Make sure your little church, your little church will be facing you when you're creating this. I have it facing away from me so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Let's get this other little leaf. And put it there. Take the other pine cone and I'm going to put it there. I need more glue stick. We're almost done with this. This can be as simple as we want to make it, or it can be a little more intricate. If you find an even smaller ornament to put in there, put that in there. And if it's too small, you could put a little piece of styrofoam in there and then put it on top of the styrofoam and just cover the styrofoam with that snow cover. Oh, that fabric, that little felty snow cover. Okay, I'm going to use this little piece up here. I'm going to put it right behind this little leaf there. And I'm going to take one of these little berries stems and I'm going to glue that right in front of this leaf, kind of tucked behind this little bow. Go ahead and fix it now that it's glued on there. And I need to trim these little tails a little more. They're a little too much. Okay. And down here, I'm going to put this little leaf coming out from either pine cone, but I'm going to do it on this one over here because there is a bow over here. So there's a lot going on this side. So I want this one coming out on this side. And now that my bow is glued, it's dried, I'm going to go ahead and poof it up. Make it pretty. There you go. I like to spread it from the very front point in and then just kind of fold it a little bit so it gives it a little bit of character. There we go. Take some of these berries and right on top of that little stem, this one that I've put in there, I'm going to put that right in there between the pine cone and the little stem. And they mimic the little berries that are on this ribbon. That is why I chose to use it. Let me get it up close. See, they have like little berries on there. So that's why I chose to use that ribbon. And since it's all glittery, this little red one, it's glittery, so it goes with it. And the little church that's inside is nice and glittery. Okay, let me put this right on top of that leaf. There's a little stem there that doesn't have anything. I'll just trim that off. Now, in hindsight, I feel like I could put that little bow further back, but that's okay. I think it looks great. And there you go. There's the top. That's what I've done. I think my little berries are kind of falling off a little bit. Push them back in there. There we go. Let's redo that by trimming the stem a little bit more. Okay, come on, get in there. There you go. And I had these snowflakes as well. And I'm going to take one of them. Here we go. This one's not grabbing onto the others. And it's got a little string on here so you can hang it on your Christmas tree or wherever. I'm going to remove that. Kind of like the idea of it standing back here. So I'm going to glue it into the garland right here. I'm going to capture it between like that. So I'm going to put some glue right in here so it captures onto the garland. And part of it is touching the jar over here, so that's going to help to kind of keep it standing. But once this glue dries, it'll be okay. I'm just holding it like that till it does dry. There we go. I think that looks really pretty. And we have these smaller ones, and I'm going to go ahead and pull one of these out so we can see what it looks like. And we can decide. I say we because if you get these little things, you'll also decide if you want to use them or not. You know what? I'm going to use a couple of them. I think it's really pretty. Let's see whether I use the other one. Okay, so let me take this off. And I'm going to tuck it. Let's see. I'm going to glue it right here to the diamond wrap. I like it right there. You can put yours wherever you like if you choose to use these. Look, that looks pretty. And we've got this other one down here. And I'm going to use another one of these also. And I think I'm going to use this down here. Whoops. Or maybe I'll stick it to the diamond wrap down here. Why not? And I'm just putting it on the little flake tip right here so that I can glue it to the diamond wrap, because I don't need to have glue all, the whole back of it, just that one little spot where it's going to attach. Okay, I think that's really pretty. I don't want to put any more. I actually could go with less, but there's an idea of what you can do. You saw it as I was doing it, and you could make your decision on how much you want to put on it or how little. I think it's really pretty, just like that. All right, well, I hope you liked my apothecary jar idea. I hope you were inspired to create one of your own. Give me a big old thumbs up. Leave a nice comment down below. I really appreciate all the comments that everyone has been using. I'm actually noticing some of you are regulars. Diane, I think, is it Gentile or Gentile? Just say the first pronunciation or whichever the second one is the correct one. I don't want to be wrong about that. Okay, so anyway, thank you all. Rosie also, I remember that name as well. And like I said, leave a nice comment down below. Please subscribe. I really appreciate everyone that has subscribed so far. Make sure you share on your Facebook or your Twitter. If you can share it on your Instagram, that would be awesome, because I really need all the help I can get so that I can create more of these crafts for you. I don't do just crafts. I also do recipes, but this whole October was going to be all Christmas crafts, and I'm going to go ahead and follow through into November. And I don't know if I'm going to do the whole month of November just crafts, or go back to my usual recipes on Friday. Or I may switch them around, because I feel like crafts are getting more views than recipes are. So I may switch those around. I'll see. I'll try it. We'll see. And yeah, that's it. And I hope that you enjoy.